Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to talk about how will we do our portfolio management. That essentially means we are going to learn how we can get the different positions that we have currently, what are the holdings in our account and things like that. So let us first start with the positions. So as you can see, I've already created my client ID and my access token for the day, and I've also created my FYERS model. This is the positions function that I've created. So let's go through the parts of each function, but for that I will show you from where I am getting this code. So if you do Control F and if you go to positions, you will see that there are the transactions info and we can find different positions. So let's quickly go to that code. This is where we are getting the positions code. And again, on the right side, you can click on Python, and this is how you get your positions. The idea is you have to do FYERS.positions, and once you do that, we get the response of all the symbols that we have currently in our positions tab. So I've already taken a sample position also. So I've currently bought idea so that I can show you how it works. Let's go back to the code, and you will see this is the code here. So I'm printing out the positions. I'm getting this response equal to FYERS.positions, and I'll print the positions here. Let me just put a quit so that I can show you how the code will look like, and I'm going to run the positions part. So all I have to do is write positions here, and I've also added an interval in the parameters in case you want to go for a while loop. Right now we are not writing any while loops here, so I've just given one here. Let's run the code, and once we run the code, you will see that this is the positions that we are getting. Right now it doesn't look so easy to read because this is in the JSON format. So what we will be doing is we will be converting this in a much more readable format. So let's go back up here. So we have been able to get the positions as per the FYERS API, but now what I'm going to show you is how do we convert this into a more readable format. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm getting net positions equal to response of net positions. Why? Because you will see the net positions are mentioned here. So when I do net positions, I will get all the values which are inside this net positions, and then what I'm doing is I'm converting those net positions into a data frame. So symbol, ID, buying average, all this will get converted into the DF in a data frame format, and then I'm very easily I can extract the important columns that I require. So for example, if I require the symbol, the product type, the net quantity, LTP, PNL and unrealized profit, I can just quickly create a separate data frame, and I'm going to print that data frame. So I'm going to run the code now. What you'll see is that the positions will look much cleaner now. So as you can see here, there's a while loop at the bottom. That is why it is printing. It is keep printing the positions again and again. Let's put a 60-second timer here so that it only prints our position once in 60 seconds. And this is the result. So now you can see this is where our result is coming, much more easy to read. The symbol is idea. We have taken an intraday entry. The net quantity is 1. This is the LTP. This is my profit and loss, which is 2 paisa, and my unrealized profit is 2 paisa. And if you see here, this is exactly what it's coming here. In fact, let me add a couple more entries. So let me add a buy quantity here, and then I'll go ahead and exit it also so that you can see the exited positions also. So now you will see that I have one position which is remaining, but actually orders are more. So I just wanted to give you an idea that I have 3 orders, but I have only 1 live positions. If we come here, in fact, let's add one more. So I'm going to add, let's say, one more stock. And let's take another entry in this stock also. And now you will see here. So as you can see, after 60 seconds, it got updated automatically. It is currently showing that in TCS, we have no quantities, 0 quantity, because we had already taken the exit. And the PNL was minus 1.9. Since there is no quantity left, the unrealized profit and loss is 0 because the complete PNL is minus 1.9. Again, after 60 seconds, what you'll realize that it will also give us the value or the PNL of the in fee. So let's just wait it out. So after 60 seconds, we'll get the results again, and now you will see that it's much easier to read rather than reading this complex result that we're getting directly from the API. Okay, we have got our new positions, and now we have Infosys, which have one quantity. TCS, there is no quantity left. We have already taken the exit, and Idea also be a one quantity. So that is how we can get our positions live after every 60 seconds. The second part that I'm going to talk about is the orders now. So very similar, the process is to get the code from the documentation. So let's go to the documentation. And since I know the name, or you can scroll down slowly, you can find that in orders. If you click Python here, the method to find your orders is FYERS.orderbook. So I'm going to use the same function. Let's come back to the code, and you'll realize this is what I've done here, FYERS.orderbook. Again, if I run this code, let's run it. So I'm going to change this to orders, and let me run this now. So you will realize that in the orders, the major part that I want is the order book. So that is what I'm getting here. Order book is equal to response of order book. And then similar to what I did in the previous part, I'm creating this into a data frame and extracting only the valuable column name that I want. And once I've done that, I'm going to print that all the filtered data. So let's see. Also, what I've done here is I've printed two kinds of data sets. One is result df and other is filtered underscore df. So I'll tell you what is the difference. If you see in result df, which is the first part, we are getting 4 orders, which is Idea, TCS and Infi. All of them were intraday trades. We took one quantity each. This is the side part which tells us what was the direction. So Idea, TCS and Infosys, they are all +1. That means they are on buying direction, and -1 is the selling direction. How many were filled quantities? And this is the ID and the status. Now this status is very important. It tells us whether the order got filled or it got rejected. So let's quickly talk about the status also. So if you come here in the documentation, you will see that there is status mentioned. So let's quickly see where the status column is. So this is the status column. As you can see, a status of 2 means that it's already traded. Whereas if there's a status of 5, that means there is some rejection. Now rejection might happen because maybe we don't have enough margin in the account. Again, if there's an open order, it will say it's pending. So that is possible. So let's try to add a pending order now. So I'm going to go into Infi. I'm going to add a buying order, but I'm going to put a limit order now. So rather than putting a market order, I'm going to go for a trigger price, and let us say I want to buy this at 1930, and I'm going to put my price as 1930 here as well, and or maybe 1931, or maybe we can remove this altogether. We can keep this as 1967 only, and one second, the price should be 1929. It's not, trigger price should be greater than the LTP. Trigger price is greater than the LTP. Okay, the trigger is here. So we have actually, it's 1967. So let us say we want it to be at 1970, and this price is also 1970.1, for example. So that means I'm saying if the market touches 1970, then you go for the buying entry. I have put a buying order, and you will notice that this buying order is somewhere here. It's a working order. It's not yet filled. So it is waiting for enforces to touch 1970, and once it does that, it will place the order. So this is the stop loss limit order. Let's come back to the code, and what you'll realize, so let's wait for 60 seconds. What you'll realize is that now we have some open orders also. Why that is important, because the status will be different for these orders. So let's wait for probably few more seconds and it should come up. In case you want to have a faster response time, we could have changed this to, let's say, 10 seconds, but then this would have kept going very quickly. So that is why I've kept it 60 seconds. It gives us enough time to see and analyze. So you can see here that we've got the results. Now we have Infosys, in which the filled quantity is 0, but we have a status of 6. Now, as we said, 6 means that it's not yet filled, is pending, and that is the benefit of using the status. Also, in the code, what I've done is I have removed all the 5. So if you see here, this is where I've written filtered DF, and I don't want the status to be 5. That means if the order has been rejected, I don't want it to be seen in my results. So this second part at the bottom shows all the results without the status equal to 5. So that is how the orders work. Very important. Let's go ahead and also talk about trades now. So what trades have been triggered so far. So again, we will be using the documentation to find out what is the correct name. I've already seen, so it's trade book, but I'll show you how to find it. So either you can directly do trade book, and you will see if you go to Python code here, this is the method to find your trades. There's a difference between orders and trades. Orders can be open, but trades are which have been already executed. So I'm now only interested in finding whether the trade or whether the order was executed or not. So let's come here, and again I'm using the same method of using the data frame. So I'm going to call trades now, and let's probably make it 30 seconds. Let's run the code, and now you will see we'll only find all the trades which have been triggered. If you see here, we don't find that open order because that's not yet triggered. So this is where you only find the triggered orders. You will find the name of the symbol, the quantity which has been traded, whether it was a buying trade or a selling trade, and again the order type in this case is 2. That means it's a successful trade. So that is the next part. And finally, let's talk about the holdings also. So in case you have any long-term holdings, you can find that as well. For that, you'll have to find it using holdings. So again, if you want to confirm, you can write holdings here, and if you go to your code, so let me show you where is the holdings code. So it might take a little time for you to understand how this works. On the right side, you have to click Python, and you can see FYERS.holdings. So this is where we can get the holdings from. And I already have a sample holding also. So if you see here in my holdings, I have my Reliance here. So let's come back here and let's run the code. And you can see that we have got our holdings also. We have the Reliance, one quantity, the cost price, that means the price at which I had bought the holding was 12.58. The current price is 12.49. That means I'm making a loss of 8.75. And you can verify it from here also, that my cost price was 12.58 and the current LTP is 12.49. So it has just got updated. So this will keep getting updated again after every 30 seconds. So this is how you can do different portfolio management. Since I've created them in a function like format, you can just copy paste this function anywhere you want, and then all these different values can be saved in your variables, and you can use them in your strategies. So I hope this is clear. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.